Well, the silver versus the silver bloggers, and I gotta say this: the silver bloggers are actually going to help you out just as much as maybe the next Federal Reserve Board chairman, which might be Janet Yellen. I'm not sure who it. Nobody knows who it is, but it may be a big time dove. And I heard that they're going to possibly pull back QE to 65 billion from 85 billion on. I don't know. That's going to come up in September. But I think the way the guys really on the inside make the market, make the money on the markets is because somebody's going to know that information beforehand, but you're not going to see it on the internet. You're not going to see it on YouTube and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and now I've heard about, I want to hit this from all angles. I heard about people on that were, silver bloggers, whatever the hell you want to call them, or YouTube channels with silver. I put a lot of that stuff out here because I tend to. I've always been in accounting finance, and I don't really like what they say, so I put my stuff out here. But they're actually going to help the price of silver because when there's a panic on the way up, silver should go up fundamentally, true, but there's going to be a panic on the way up too, and it's going to go past the fundamentals, and I don't know where it's going to go to. It's going to surprise you. I remember I had some double leverage silver, and I got it, I don't know, I guess when silver was 17 or something like that. And then when silver went a little over 30, I sold it, and I should have held on till, 45 or plus. With double leverage, you would have even made more. But, you're not going to, I think silver's going to all surprise us on the way up. And these silver bloggers are going to help us out. But on the other side of that, they don't really know what the hell they're talking about. Well, I think maybe they're just pumpers. I don't know. Maybe they're working for Eric Sprott, and I know now that they're charging money for their blogs and all this garbage. And that might be because I don't know what's going on. I heard this like on YouTube, like they got like my videos are monetized, and actually, if I was doing this for like money. Like if I was like really serious about it, I would probably do a way lot less financial videos because they're very, very short-lived. And, it's like, I'll read news, but I get into the news and all the financial news for hours, so I figure I'd put the information out. But I don't know what the deal is, but I think maybe because there's so many people getting on YouTube that the ad rate has dropped a lot. And so, you don't make a lot of money on YouTube unless you have a lot of views, like, gazillions of views. But, it's even dropping more. So that's the reason I'm mentioning that. That's the reason these silver bloggers are charging admission fees to go see their blog. So, but hey, we all know the price of silver is going up. Well, not all people know that. Not all people know that. It's kind of funny because you always have these people that have a tunnel vision mindset in one way or the other. There's like the super bulls and there's the super bears. And people would be predicting, there's going to be a pullback. When it went over 20 something, it went to 24. It's going to pull back to 20. Back in 2010, when it was up to 30, they said it was going to pull back to 24 because it was starting to pull back at the end of January. They figured it was going to pull back, several times. And then that's always been their, what they say. And then now that it's pulled back for the last couple of years, they look like they're geniuses. But a lot of those people will tell you it's never going to go up. I just think it just had a normal big correction like typical happens in the commodity world. Commodities are all over the place. And I know you're supposed to buy them low and sell them high, but the reason that's not so easily done as, as said. And people are always looking for information on the internet, and nobody on the internet is actually going to know that kind of information because the ones I think that say they make a killing on a commodity still know what Ben Bernanke's going to say ahead of time, and they're not going to blab that on the internet. They're just going to act upon it. And we mean not having proof of that. Come on, it's freaking You think Ben Bernanke doesn't talk to any of his inside friends of what he's going to say in his next FOMC meeting? He does. He does. So that's one way sometimes people make a lot of money. Or if there's a margin call coming up, some people know better when it's going to come up, right? So, but for the average investor, you just want to stick with the plain old metals. And it's my personal opinion that you shouldn't get into anything that has a big premium on it, for coins. That's my, some people are experts in that area. Maybe they'll do very well. But I just got, American Eagles, Austrian Philharmonicas, Canadian Maple Leafs. I got those Indian heads. I got the, what do you call it? The ones that look like the Walking Liberties. I got those. And I got a few JP Morgan silver dollars. I got stuff that is pretty damn common. It's cool if you want to get something like silver that says, don't tread on me or something. I don't get stuff I get stuff that, anybody that seen silver, they'll recognize it, That's why I get that type of stuff. I get common stuff. It doesn't have a premium on it, but I don't, I didn't pay a premium for it either. So I think that's a safer, more conservative strategy to go with because, some of these private mints are minting all these crazy coins, and they're getting, sometimes they get big premiums for this stupid stuff, and I'm like saying it's just a freaking hunk of silver. So, I wouldn't get caught into that trap. But two things, I guess, basically for the upcoming. I think QE is going to come on harder and harder, and if I took it's according to the major media, but it's the major media is not all bullshit. Their best guess is that Janet Yellen is going to be the next Fed chairman. That's their best guess for most of them. It could be somebody else. I mean, saw there's some other names out there, but she makes Helicopter Ben look like nothing. She's more dovish than Helicopter Ben. So that'll be good for the price of commodities. Should be. The other thing is, the silver bloggers, even though they're wrong as all hell a lot of times, they're going to actually help the market go up because they're going to scare the crap out of the middle class about. See, my contention is that the middle class, when we're looking in the silver world here right now, in a little microscopic silver world, not too many people really got into silver as a whole, in the middle class. The silver bloggers are going to be really, hitting the bullhorns about silver. And as it goes up, there's going to be more and more middle class going, hey, I could have made all this money. Oh, I could have made it. That's usually what it starts. You don't know how high you can go. I mean, and they're going to be saying, they're going to be telling you about the fiat dollars going to nothing and everything's going to fall apart and all this garbage. And when the middle class really starts jumping into this crap, man, I don't know what the price is going to be, but that's when you should sell. And the other indicator of when to sell is the price ratio to gold. So, but unfortunately, when silver gets really, really high, you're going to see prices very high in things that you need, like to keep you going day to day. One is going to be energy cost, because it's like they're not, energy, silver, gold are not exactly related just in normal times when things are going along like this. But if you have all the conditions where, gold is going way up or oil is going way up, it's not like oil is going to go way the hell up here. It might do it at different times a little bit. It's not going to be a perfect correlation. But oil is going to goes way the hell up. You're going to see gold and silver go way up, say during that year, during that year, say. It's not going to be like, Loctite going like this. But mathematically, the correlation, like when oil gets really, really bullish, the correlation between oil and gold gets tighter, and also even between oil and silver gets tighter. Because, as I said, mining is an extremely energy-intensive business. It really is. And there's different ways, if you're looking at the financial statements of a business, you could be saying, it costs this much to operate the business. But if you're talking about the nuts and bolts operating cost, the stuff that's actually eating cash flow, you're paying salaries and you're paying maintenance and maybe you're paying interest. But even the interest is probably coming out of an interest reserve, out of the loan. It's not actually coming out of your cash. But since mining is a very energy intensive operation, you have to pay the fuel to keep the operation going, and it's extremely energy intensive. So if you see like a problem in the Middle East where oil prices shoot up to past $150 a barrel, I'll guarantee you that gold and silver are going to break new records. If it stays up there for any length of time, gold and silver are going to break new records. Not at the exact same time, but it'll be pretty soon. It'll be pretty soon. The problem is, I have absolutely, and nobody does, I don't care if they're the best intelligence people in the military, I have no real idea exactly when this stuff in the Middle East is going to happen. I'm making this video a little longer than I expected, but I want to point out something else. There's rumors out there that, like Snowden, and this relates to the Middle East and the oil prices and silver and gold going up. If there was a problem in the Middle East, that Snowden, since he's staying in Russia, is actually gave a lot more clout to what Putin could reveal about the United States if the United States' policies go against what Putin wants, like in Syria. So that's caused the U.S. to back off a little bit. I don't know if this is true or not, but it kind of makes sense, because this thing with Syria and Egypt has looked like it's gonna, it looked like the green light is ready to go. Where they're talking about kinetic strikes and bombing and all this type of stuff, and then that alone will bring up oil, right? But once that happens, and say Assad is out of the way, I think that's the green light for the attack on Iran. That's why I think this stuff, and then you're going to see oil go way to hell up. So then you're going to see gold and silver go up, and the silver bloggers are going to help that with all their spiel they're going to put out there. And the big buyers of silver and gold are going to be the middle class. Like guys like Jimmy Rogers, he's telling you, it's garbage, right? He's probably buying it right now, I mean, it's not the only thing he's doing, but that's when you're going to see the big guys maybe dumping a lot of their stuff onto the middle class. I think eventually the middle class is going to get left holding the bag. You think 2011, the way silver went up and gold went up in 2011, and then they got left holding the bag with something? Wait. I'm going to sell, but I know I ain't going to get it right at the exact point, because you'd have to be lucky as all hell to do that. But my strategy is to do it in steps. So anyway, just hang on, because it is going up. There's the people that are always the super bears. They look like they're extremely intelligent the last 2 years because silver's been going down, but now they're saying it's going to stay down for the next 2 years. And then there's the super bulls that look really smart back from 2010 to the beginning of somewhere in 2011. They look very smart. They're going to start looking very smart again. But I just think it's a cycle, We're around the bottom. It's going to start creeping up. And what's really going to drive it up is Middle East events. So, and I should point this out. Energy and food are big time related too, because farming with pesticides and there's all kinds of agricultural products, pesticides made from oil, plus it's also an energy intensive operation. So you will not have a complete get rich scheme even if you sold silver near a high, because I think a lot of other things that you need in day-to-day operating cost of your family, like which is using energy and needing food, those prices are going to be high too. But that's the reason you should hang on to silver. But later on, I swear to God, I know what's going to happen, man. The majority always gets it wrong. They always do. They always do. The big buyers of silver, when it's going to be way the hell up there, is not going to be Wall Street sharks. It's not going to be the central banks. It's going to be the middle class. So, I don't think I'm ever going to sell all the stuff, but I'm going to be cautiously selling when I think it gets really high.